periodically just to support her, so
Right.
she's doing that, and so that's Tuesday. Now she's Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, and then she's also doing. You stated on the.
Christy Norm was doing one.
Yeah, she's in.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. She's not clean.
Oh.
With her, she's-
So that's what she was going to do, sadly. But this was fine.
She's got some.
Maybe. No,
Still. I don't know if you know this. It's awesome. He's a teacher, close. Schools. Anyway. He lives in He still lives in cars.
Well, it's certainly a safe sign. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's too much. Oh, that's not fun. Champ. Well, it's got the actually. Two.
The Wi-Fi, how are you?
Yeah. Like 39%. How do you get? What do you just?
Maybe.
I'm good. Going for prayer. Yes. Or prayer and reading the Lord. Oh, man. That's the only reason I moved over here.
For gum?
No, he always shares with me, Wednesday.
Oh, what, to clean.
Every time I slow down, I bring my glasses when I come here.
Toby used to bring Elton's. Canada.
Was he trying to tell me something?
Toby?
Toby, I don't know.
He used to just like pop all the time. And bring little bottles. Do you remember that?
Not safe. No.
Well, no, it used to.
Missed the good one.
Toby
I
was-
know.
Bring little cans of Elton's.
They're all. Narrow.
And, yeah.
So.
Okay, I got it. 128. Okay, so that's.
So you're gonna give us a report on the cruise then, other business? Did your kids make it back? No, they just barely texted me. He got.
I need to.
Son was thinking. And just, we were supposed to leave at 7.
That's a personal. It's on the website.
So, where are they gonna stay? Is there
Yeah,
hotels?
what's in your favor? Your choice of pictures on the front. I took that picture, so I did.
It's an Airbnb. So they'll say. I don't know, I just barely found out. It's going.
So your choice. Total. 15 meters. That's not.
So that's juice. This is the face. That's what it is.
Mhm.
This is how. Yeah, you could go to your table. So.
Almost 15 meters. So if you break them, if you do your math.
Yeah. So.
So it's 8.
I still have 5:59. Are we? Am I encroaching upon you?
I think it's mine. I'm going from.
Won't take it. We'll spread out here.
So it's from the 83.
That's the other attorney. That's the other attorney. Matt, why don't you come over here? Yeah, sit up here. Is that okay, John? Just for them. Just move over here, or do you want to?
Matt Wilson.
Oh, the other.
The other attorney. It's good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We'll get you.
Right.
Is it just? Out there.
That's good. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
It is hopefully.
I'm fine. That's so bad.
That's right, please. I expect everything. Okay, I have 6 o'clock, so let's go ahead. Actually, 6:01. We waited a long minute at 5:59, and then 6:01. Okay. Anyway, we'd like to welcome you and to this city council meeting on Tuesday, January 27th. I'm Steve Gibson. I'll be presiding here today. We'd like to open with Pledge of Allegiance, open prayer, a reading or expression of thought by Councilmember Dave Marriott.
The audience, please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Father in heaven, we're grateful this evening for the opportunity we have to be here. We're grateful for this country and this community that we have to live in, the blessings and the goodness that we have. We're thankful for those who help and who lift and who do great things in our city, and we ask that thou would bless all the residents of our city. We're thankful for our leaders, for national and state and local leaders, and we ask a blessing to be upon them, that they'll be guided and they'll be wise and humble and be able to do the right things for our country. We pray for guidance tonight in the decisions that we make, in the business that we do, and we pray that we'll make wise choices and do the best for the citizens in Pleasant View. We're thankful for our first responders and the city staff and those that work so hard to help our city to go forward each day, and we're thankful for them and pray that thou bless them. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. We'd like to recognize Ann Arrington as being excused from this meeting, but she's attending on Zoom with us today. So she's in a procedure right now, so she will. No, that's fine. I appreciate that. So she'll be joining us here shortly. In her place, I was just gonna say, because of last time being my first time and I made so many mistakes, we've invited our attorney, Matt, to sit up here, and he's gonna pinch me or punch me or do something to keep me straight today. So we'll have another chair for him somewhere, but we were unprepared today, but he or his partner, Brody, will be attending our meetings going forward, which I think is a great addition to the city council. So thank you for sitting here. Hope that doesn't mess up. Laurie, we're good with that? Okay, item number 1B, declaration of conflicts of interest. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to declare?
No.
Mayor, just say that for the portion we talk about RISE, the RDA for RISE. RISE is a member of the Utah Manufacturing Association. I serve as the president of that association, so I'll just recluse myself from that discussion.
Okay. All right, do we need to have him fill out a conflict of interest? paperwork for that, or is that just, just a statement?
Yeah, they can just declare.
Okay,
I declare.
perfect. Thank you. We recognize that declaration of conflict for the redevelopment part of our meeting today. Thank you. Item number 1C is a public comment, questions for the mayor, city council. We'll limit that to 3 minutes. And again, those are comments. We may or may not have answers to those comments, but we'll take those and address those at a later time. Anybody from the public? We're grateful to have public here. So thank you very much. Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 2, consent items. Bills of Pleasant View City, you have those in your packet. Has everybody had a chance to look at those? I'd entertain a motion if there's no questions.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the bills, the consent items.
We have a motion by Marriott,
I'll second that motion.
second by Yuri. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ann is not on. Oh, excuse me. Still not there. Okay, there'll be a 4 with Ann not responding. All right, caught being good. Presentation, Dana, please.
Hello, my name is Dana Gibson and thank you for having me. I'm here on behalf of the Neighbors in Action Committee, which is a brand new committee formed by myself and some of the staff of the council members. They include Lee Marriott, Sunny Wilkinson, and Jen Ferry. And our purpose for this committee is to just try and find ways to bring our community together and find things that we can do to help recognize those who are doing good things in our community. So our first nominee for January, or our first recipient for January, actually received several nominees. So I am pleased to turn the time over to Steve, Mayor Gibson, to present that. Thank you.
It's my wife, by the way. And I'm really happy to have this initiative in our city. I think it's going to be a great thing, and hopefully we'll be able to recognize those that go out of their way to really make Pleasant View the place that we love and we have grown to know. And Kyle, I've known Kyle for a while. I had nothing to do with his nomination, but we had other people that nominated him. I'm just going to read kind of what was, anyway. Kyle Scoville is being good. He is always finding ways to serve our community, like cleaning up the parks and trails with his family on numerous occasions. He also volunteers his time as a sports coach for the recreation program in Pleasant View. Families throughout the community have experienced his dedication firsthand as he consistently goes above and beyond to support and encourage the kids he coaches. Beyond his own service, Kyle sets a powerful example for his children and for those around him. He has consistently taught his kids to look for ways to help others, and as a result, they are now self-motivated to serve. Community members often notice his children taking initiative, cheerfully picking up after themselves and others wherever they go. Through both of his actions and his example, Kyle is very deserving of this honor. And this is the Neighbors in Action Committee. And on behalf of the city and the mayor, I support this and would like to present Kyle with this certificate. Kyle Scoville caught being good. And we'd like to have you take a picture. I present that to Kyle, and then I think the council will like to comment. You do that. Take that. What? Family thing.
That's the one.
I'm taking a picture for the website, so.
Smile.
So you're doing it.
Well, sure.
Yeah, I'm not taking.
Oh, so. That. Hold on, so. There's you.
I did.
Hold on.
Wait.
Oh, grandma's. Oh. Early, it seems,
Let's make sure. Yes.
Grateful. I just, want to take this opportunity. There's a couple things that impressed me, Kyle, and your family. One, it motivates me to see it on social media that you've doing some of this. So it's been happening for years. I know I've seen it, which is impressive to me.
Let's catch people doing. That's fine. Anyway, so thank you. And the first, it's really good. Thank you again. All right, item number 4, vacate, possible future right-of-way. Consider the vacating a possible future 80-foot right-of-way at approximately 2837 North Parkland Boulevard with Simone Go subdivision. This will be ordinance 2026-4. Tammy is going to present and tell us all about that.
Okay, thank you. So this was initiated by the city and taken to planning commission last month, where they recommended approval to the city council. It is a possible future proposed right-of-way. Can't remember exactly how the wording is on there, but approximate proposed future right-of-way that runs east to west across the southern boundary of the lot 103R of the subdivision. It was originally there as a possible location of a railroad crossing. And from between the time of the subdivision approval to now, the railroad is not, we would not be putting a crossing there. They're limiting where we can put the crossing across the UP rail line. And that one is not a possible location. And so there's no need for that to be there anymore on the future land use map. And so, or on the subdivision. And so we are recommending that that be released. And the city council we would recommend that the city council approve that.
Is everybody familiar with that kind of situation that we had?
Is there more explanation on why we decided to vacate it or?
It's
or-
just not necessary because we're never gonna put a road there, and it's been removed from the future land use map. And so we just need to
The
remove
stacking of the railway goes beyond that. So our we still don't have a proposed crossing, but it will not be here.
We're working on a crossing location, but it would be further north. quite a ways further north. And so
Is the landowner wanting it to be removed right now or?
it was kind of a condition or a compromise with the landowner for the subdivision, the section of the subdivision lower than, or south of that, where, they gave us some concessions of like Chafford Corners and, the street that is, what is that street number? The street south of that, south of the winery location.
Yeah.
2775, thank you. And so with that road and with the agreement that we had with them, if that location of the proposed road was not necessary, that we would release it.
I'm unclear on where it lines up with the rest of it, but wouldn't we want to keep the one going west from there, even though we're not going to the railroad? Where does the road line up from the pond and winery with this?
Well, it's north of the winery property.
This actual easement is north
Yeah.
of it right now?
Yeah.
And the road plan is south of the winery for going.
Well, the
going
road that
west.
goes east, is south of the winery. There isn't a road that goes west, south of the winery.
Right.
And
but-
this road has already, like I said, it's already been removed from the future land use map or from the future road map. And so
Okay.
we have an easement for a road that's not planned, basically.
Yeah, I just want to make sure clear in my mind that it was not gonna be a problem with us going westbound from there, from this, because
Yeah, because there's still the road, there's still the road that extends, Parkland extends north,
Right, Curves north.
and curves to the west. And so that would be the future access to that western property.
okay.
Just a question along the railroad, somewhere along that railroad, we do need a crossing to get access up to 89 eventually, is that right? Is that the plan?
And we're working on that with other in another area. It's been a process because the area where Union Pacific has said, this is your window of where you can have possibly have a rail crossing. It's very narrow. And so in order to have that crossing and the road for that connecting to 89, there's a lot of engineering to make the stacking distance work. And so, like the mayor said, that's in the process, but it's a ways out. And
I'm hoping this will be one of the topics we'll discuss in our work session. a little
Okay.
bit Of a direction to go. Because as I look at it, I don't even think where we're proposing it's gonna really work out very well. But the stacking of the trains from 2700 back.
Yeah.
That's why we can't even have this road. They will not allow that to be in this area. And so we've got to go further north, but then our property and 89 kind of go to a point. And it's very frustrating. I don't even know what to recommend. So anyway, we're not talking about that tonight, but
Okay.
that will come up hopefully during the work session and talk just a little bit about the direction to go. Because I don't know even what to do, but so anyway, this is my opinion. I agree with it, so.
So we just need, we're just vacating. the
Yeah,
right
we're
of
just,
way.
all we're doing is vacating the right of way for this property here.
Just to clarify it, on the opposite side of the AB 89, there's already a building in the way of that, right?
on the
Railroad.
opposite side of the
East
East of the railroad.
east of the railroads, yes,
There, when
there's already
there's no way across them.
development there, so.
So I'll make a motion that we, what are we doing? We're vacating the right of way on Simon Go subdivision. What is the ordinance 2026-4?
Have a motion by Marriott,
I'll second that motion.
a second. This is a roll call vote. Gonna go Ferry,
Yes.
Arrington,
Yes.
Marriott,
Yes.
Wilkinson,
Yes.
Erie.
Yes.
I was told that we have to bury those votes.
Oh, you can't do it in the same.
So you can't do it in the same order.
Not alphabetical, huh?
So it's just, it's varying every time. So anyway, just, I was told that by legal,
Oh, I was gonna say, you were.
that needs to change up every time.
Do you like roll the dice and?
So anyway. Okay, item number 5, award the storm drain cross railroad. We got a lot of Union Pacific nonsense going on. Discussion and possible consideration to award the bid for the storm drain crossing. The railroad at 1325 West project in the amount of $289,203.21 to Allied Underground Technology. And this is by our All Sports Park. We've been working on this for a couple years, at least. To get this out, we're upsizing the drain underneath the railroad track to better utilize our detention basin there. Tyson, explain.
Yes,
This is not the
we
bid.
have the 700,000 budgeted. It's a large stormwater impact fee eligible project. It'll help immensely with the functionality of the multi-sports park and continue that regional growth out on that side of town. Working through Rail Pros, we've done a lot of the permitting, and so Allied will have to do the workflow part of the permit for what type of boring method they've worked out. So with engineering vetting them out and no issues to proceed where they're out on site. We've come in town before, but don't foresee any issues with using out there. So
This is really a very important part of our stormwater system. You know, we've done a lot of work with the stormwater, and this will really just fix a problem that's been since we put that detention basin in, really, hasn't it? I mean, it goes back a long
yes,
time.
for doing that size of regional ponds, and they functionally were using the original railroad crossings to transport stormwater to the other side, and it's never functioned well and floods along the road track historically once the pond is caught up. So
Go ahead.
So I noticed that the base bid, the difference between the engineer's estimate and the base bid, this has the option for change orders, I'm assuming, and.
any project would have
Right.
the
And
options.
so it's just, there's quite a space.
So from the engineer's estimate, that gets into the different methods that you can use. So
Okay.
there's jack boring and the method that the contractor's using. They've done on, I believe it was one other project, and they've worked with Rail Pros on several others. So
Okay.
that's where their price is quite a bit lower than some of those others, is a different method.
Can I jump in there?
Absolutely.
That was one of my questions. I looked at item number 9, furnish and install the 36-inch pipe and either the jack and bore or the pipe ramming, and they were significantly less than every other bid.
Yes.
And is that just the way they do it, or do they have access to materials that others don't?
So it sounds like they have the equipment and do it themselves, where a lot of the others were gonna have to basically sub that out.
Okay.
So that drives that cost up. And then vetting out that was, you know, they stood behind that number, and if they were awarded the bid, and we vetted that out, and they feel that with the equipment they own and the method they used, that they could get it done faster and cheaper than the others, and we're okay with the holding the price.
Got a question. Tyson, did we budget the engineering amount? That's what we did. Was that the engineering estimate? I'm not sure. You said 700. I was trying to remember what.
So
That's between the-
700 was the budget estimate.
For
The
both.
engineer's estimate for the project was under that.
Yeah. So is 700 just for this one, or for both the sewer and the storm drain?
700 just for the stormwater
Okay,
at the multi-sport.
okay.
So we're well under budget. So with projects like the decant facility coming up and other
Right.
issues, then come budget time, we'll reallocate, because that was even creating the budgetary number. There were so many methods to go under, and you're
Yeah.
dealing with the railroad who's sometimes tricky to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
deal with their permitting and how that.
And I think it was just, it was a best, worst case scenario type of thing, because this is something we haven't done before, is go under or
Yeah.
around the
Yes.
railroad.
And it,
I'm happy that it's under. I think it's.
yeah, it's great. And they can do that without disrupting the railroad. I'm assuming that they can do that.
It's a, so that's the permit with Rail Pros, so we've submitted sort of the construction drawings, and then it's the methodology, and they do a workflow permitting to finish up the permit. But we've already got all our permits with them open, so Rail Pros will come out. That's part of what you're paying Rail Pros to come and monitor the track the entire time they're working. So that's a big chunk of that cost as well. And from what I understand, difficult, strenuous process. So where they've dealt with them before, and I haven't had experience dealing with that Rail Pro. That was one of the, I guess, positives with this contractor, is they've done a couple with them now.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the storm drain crossing of the railroad bid to Allied Underground Technology for $289,203
I think I have a motion from Marriott
21 cents.
and 21 cents.
Second.
Dickinson. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Ann is aye. Any opposed? Item number 6, award storm line extension along US 89 to 300 North. This
Sewer line.
sewer line, sorry, award the sewer line. Discussion of possible, consideration to award the bid to sewer line extension along US 89 to 300 North. Project in the amount of $189,211 to Front General Contracting. Tyson.
This one, another long, exciting project. This one's connected to the decant facility that'll be the first structure at the Public Works area, and help us meet our compliance obligations and help provide better stormwater and cleanup for the city ourselves. And hopefully we can use that facility to branch out to other communities that need to use it to help meet those stormwater needs. So this project will get the sewer main up into the site for the decant with the 470s budgeted from the city. It's been an ongoing project.
much
Got
was
some
it?
right away.
How much was that again? It's 470?
470 under the
Budgeted.
decant for the sewer. So-
That was the budget for this particular project.
Part of it, yes. So
And
there'd
then-
be more to come for the decant, but it's,
Okay.
the
So-
sewer is for the decant facility to function.
So this leaves a good chunk of room to be able to.
Yes,
the
and then
next
you
step.
have the ARPA funds we're trying to spend that are for the decant facility, and so there'll be more to come for this one, just to understand that. This is the first part of many for the decant, yes.
A lot of work has gone into this, as we've known. We've worked with the property owners along 89 to connect and get those things all in line. This is part of that kind of extension of that, I think, correct? Is that?
Yeah, so we'll extend off the existing sewer main, and then there's the 3 existing homes that part of the right-of-way negotiations to get the sewer main through their property is to connect their septic systems, which is a benefit for your sewer
Water.
system as well, but that was part of the property negotiations. But we, I guess, committed to hooking up their homes to this sewer main on the way
Yeah.
by.
So again, so one of these projects, I'm happy to see some of these projects actually going forward. So anyway, any other questions, comments?
There's a section for an alternative bid optional thing there. I think it's only 4 front that bid on that. What's the optional thing that we need to, oh no.
It was just vetting out boring versus open dig, just to hope you get a better price
Okay.
depending on what the capabilities and equipment that different contractors have.
Any other comments? I entertain a motion.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to award the bid for the sewer line extension along US 89 to 3000 North project in the amount of $189,211 to Forefront General Contracting.
All right, I have a motion by Yuri,
I'll second the motion.
second by Marriott, all in favor,
Aye.
Yes,
opposed. And you're okay with that?
yes.
Thank you for joining us, by the way. I excuse you for a minute, but that's the only excuse you get. You had to be here for the rest of the meeting.
10-4.
Item number 7, memorandum of understanding, discussion and consideration to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Internet Crimes Against Children ICAC Task Force Program. I talked with Stetson a little bit about this, and I am all in favor. So thank you very much, Stetson.
Yeah, so attached is a copy of the MOU from the ICAC task force, which is through the Attorney General's office. I'm super excited about this. You know, something that I've saw in my career is the internet crimes against children is increasing all the time. Due to a lot of different variables. One, a lot of kids have phones. I mean, I have nieces and nephews and family and friends. I mean, everybody has a phone. And it's kind of, I've learned here in the last few years that it's really hard to go get a phone that doesn't have the internet synced up to it somehow. Most phone providers won't give you a phone without having the internet. And then there's the Wi-Fi. Kids learn how to get on Wi-Fi. And so with all that being said, we have seen the internet crimes and children being victimized by this increase substantially. Something in Pleasant View that's we've relied heavily on the ICAC task force over the years on some major cases and stuff to help us with their resources and their investigators to help us solve a lot of our crimes. And it's a great opportunity for us to give back to that and put one of our own guys on that task force. The benefit is to me is way in our favor than theirs, because we'll have the ability to use their resources and their investigators and their knowledge and their everything they have to offer to solve the cases when our own kids from our community here are victimized through this. One of the big parts of this that I'm excited about is the office that we're going to put on the task force is our detective, and he's really excited to do. He's wanted to do it for a long time. He's really talented as far as electronics and tracking IP addresses and phone numbers and that kind of stuff. And so I think we're gonna have a lot to offer them as far as Pleasant View, helping them out, and they're certainly gonna be able to help us with their resources. And so I hope you guys will all vote to let us do this, to let us put him on that task force, because I think of the little kids we see running around our streets and stuff and being victimized through the internet is there's a really good chance of that. We do a lot of things. We do a lot of things to keep our community safe. We do extra patrols. We have more guys out all the time, driving around, checking at houses, checking areas. Robbie Doan, I mean, if you leave your garage door open, there's a good chance somebody's gonna knock on your door and say at 2 a.m, say, hey, close your garage door. But the one thing that's hard is the internet. We can't extra patrol the internet a lot of times. But through their things and other things that the ICAC task force does, we'll be able to participate in that and make sure that we're doing that locally here and catching these predators that are victimizing our kids. So hope you all had a chance to read through it. I'll answer. I'm not going to go through the whole entire thing, but if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Yeah, you got it. Just,
Yep.
I didn't understand it was, we were more, we were helping the task force as much as they were going to help us. So but I think it's a great thing to do that. And maybe, I don't know, you can tell us a little bit more about the success of internet crimes and stuff that we've dealt with in the past. Are we able to really fight that? And I mean,
Yeah.
And is this really gonna help us in that, or are we already doing some of it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna disclose anything that's not public knowledge, but
Yeah.
like you read and see, task forces setting up stings where they're catching online predators and stuff like that. And that takes a lot of investigators to do
Yeah.
that. And that's the stuff that we're looking forward to participating in, and he'll be able to watch our area and watch for people that are searching for kids in our area. And so, yeah, there's just a lot of benefit to us. doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of effort in the state to work on this right now, and I did see, I think that there was a settlement with TikTok or something recently on that too. So I think, yeah, anything we can do to help, I'm in favor of, so.
I think this is a great program as well. I just wondering, is there a fiscal amount attached to this? Does this cost the department any extra
So-
money? Are you getting
so
a grant?
There's no really, in the MOU, there's no commitment as far as time that he has to spend with them. They just ask that we help, and provide, help when we can. But the commitment on our end is the training. It lists the trainings that he has to go to. There's 3 online trainings and then 1 3-day, class that he'll need to go to, which is gonna benefit us to have a better trained detective to work these cases. But as far as paying into it or nothing, we don't have to do that.
Just pay for the training.
Just pay for the training and then pay if he, his time while he's working. So.
Just a question regardless of the cause or how great this is and everything. Anytime you make a change, you're shifting resource from one to another. The resources that, how many hours a year you think this would, for somebody?
For him to
Yeah.
work it, a lot of that just depends on the amount of victims you have and the amount of stuff you have that way. He knows that we have an overtime budget. He knows that I watch that really close, and he's going to do everything he can to stay within that and provide the service to Pleasant View that we can. So to be honest, I don't know exactly how many hours. They don't ask us specific, hey, we would like him to work 100 hours with the ICAC task force a year. There's nothing like that in the MOU. But I would expect him to, honestly, and what kind of triggered this was I looked at their cases, and most of the cases are internet, most of the cases that people call in and say, hey, my kid got somebody text him, they sent him a phishing message. He sent him a picture. Now we got a problem, and so we're seeing so much of that, and we're just limited on how much we can investigate that. The task force is limited on their resources to send people up. Obviously a serious crime where there's good leads, good suspects, they're going to step in and help us solve that case for sure. But we want to be able to participate and learn and be better for our local residents as well.
You don't anticipate this being a take from what the present duties are for the
No,
individual?
absolutely.
They'll be able to juggle them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the priority will still be his caseload here at the office.
I think right now we utilize the county for SWAT and for, different things that we just don't have the manpower or the expertise to do.
Yeah.
And I kind of look at this as one of those things that we were taking advantage of a bigger brother out there to be able to utilize some things. And, I don't want him going down to St. George, or something like that, but
Yeah.
we want, the world has changed from my world. And I think we have to do some of these things and get some of these creeps off again, I don't know where it's going to end, but I think it's a thing. I think it's something we have to look at, and maybe we can evaluate a year and see if we've gotten anything out of it. I think the chief will, I appreciate his effort to do good by us. And I appreciate that. And I don't think if it's a waste, I think you won't keep going with it. So
I read through I went to a thing that Weaver County Sheriff's Office did. They have a deputy on the ICAC task force that our guy works closely with. And he was doing a training. He talked about the different things that people are doing to victimize kids. And even some of it, I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that they're doing that. And this will help us be able to educate I expect him to, when he learns the trends and learns the things that parents should be watching for, and through this, I want him to do, to do newsletters or do whatever and help our citizens prevent their kids from being victimized through this,
I love that. It's great.
I'm just curious, for awareness for everyone here, how big of an issue is this in our community?
Oh, I'm sure it's bigger than even I'm aware of, I think kids you know, they delete their phones, they delete things off their phones, the new iPhones. If you don't have a passcode to them, it's really hard to get into them and stuff. But that's why I'm really in, you know, we don't, like Mayor said, we don't have anybody on spot. We don't have anybody on certain different task force. This is the one we have the officer that's like, he's gonna excel at this. Two, I think this is where like Pleasant View sees the most problem. This is what I see us really needing the most right now is something to be really in the middle of this to help us.
Awesome.
Well, it is it's, the future is the internet. I mean, that's really where it is. And we still have the thugs that are coming in the nighttime and like just causing all kinds of grief and hell and the graffiti and stuff. But this is a real thing. And I think a lot of families, if they really truly understand and can have an outlet, you know, I love the idea of having
Awareness. Yeah.
something and be able to have, you know, some sort of a committee and come together and have the officer just talk to them about it. Have them a place to go, maybe do a presentation at the school or something. I don't know if elementary or junior highs, I don't know where, I don't know where it goes, but anyway, I'm all for it. So anyway, any other questions or comments? I'd entertain a motion.
Do we need a motion for this or?
We need to enter into this
Agreement?
agreement. I think we do. Yes.
All right, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we enter into
Memorandum of-
memorandum of understanding with the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force Program I guess it's between the task force and Pleasant View City.
Have a motion by Marriott,
I'm gonna second that.
Johnny, Fair, I'm gonna second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Any opposed? Thank you, it's unanimous.
Matt, can I sign this to enter the MOU or do we need to have the council?
You can sign it, or it could be, member of the council, I
Okay.
on this one.
Okay.
See? Thank you. I haven't got hit.
Well, I
Not one
did-
time
did-
I got elbowed yet.
I did fail to mention that. I did send this to legal and they reviewed it and approved it. So.
Perfect. Well, with Sean being so popular on the city council and getting in, he leaves a vacancy on the planning commission, and Julie Farr, for those who didn't know, has put in, she's not going to sign up again, so
Resigning.
she's resigned from that as of
I think he
February.
still has one more.
Yeah, so February, so she'll attend the February meeting. I talked with Andy, who's the chair, and he was voted the chair last planning commission. Who's the vice chair? I can't remember.
It's Jeff Bolingbrook.
Jeff, that's right, Jeff Bolingbrook. So I haven't talked to Jeff, but I talked to Andy. And we have two alternates, David Gosner and John Morris. And John is here today. I've asked him to come. I don't know if you have any questions, but he's been alternate for a while, a couple of years.
Mhm.
Did anybody want to speak to him or speak at him, or are you good?
John is fantastic. I've associated with him on the planning commission and he will do a great job.
So David also, I mean, I think he's done a good job. He's showed up, and so I'd like to propose that David Gosner and John Morris be this will be an appointment to the full-time planning commission roster. I don't know how is that good enough?
So you need a motion.
Well, we need a motion, but also, I don't know, on the same motion, should we do the alternates first and then, or the alternates going over to full-time and then we're gonna propose to have an alternate, new alternate? You do it at the same time?
You could do it all at the same time.
So Brian Gray, who a lot of you know, he did run for the
Council.
council, and I talked to him. He's a neighbor. He's a good friend. I've known him for a lot of years. He just says, if I can't be on the city council, I'd like to be more involved with the planning commission. And Brian represents goodness. And if you anybody want to speak to Brian or have him speak to you?
This is for the alternate.
For the alternate.
Can you come tell us?
Absolutely.
About himself?
Yeah, come up. State your name and where you live.
My name's Brian Gray. I live on 325 West, just north of Steve Wilson. The actual reason why I ended up doing this is Jeff Bolingbrook reached out, said, hey, you can't do that, and you just at least try the planning commission, sure. So, and actually, I like to be involved in our city. I think it's important to put your time in with volunteer for your town or your country or whatever else.
What is your profession? Just curious, a little bit of background about you. What do you do?
I am a engineer at a casting company. I was a nuclear quality engineer. Now I'm the process engineer for the machine shop. I've worn a lot of hats over the years, mostly in engineering or like professions. And the funny part about that is I have no degree. So kind of smarted my way through it. I've also, I'm from the Philadelphia area. I was born in the projects in West Philadelphia. I've seen a lot of what bad government can do. And that's why I think it's important for better people to be in government.
How long have you been in Pleasant View?
This is my 13th year.
Oh, cool.
And it's home now. I'm done moving because.
You know what's bad and what's good now, so you're set, right?
Was a legislative district chair here for the Republican Party. I was legislative district vice chair, state central committee, the county central committee. I'm a precinct chair right now.
I think it's commendable. I mean, if you to lose an election is not very fun, and to say I'm going to lose and I'm still willing to participate, I think that's commendable that you're willing to do that. So
I've known Brian for a number of years, and his dedication and service, coming out to all the meetings and things that we participated in. He's been very faithful in doing that. So I'm sure he would treat this position the same way.
Yeah, getting to know Brian throughout the campaign process, he's a stand-up guy, and I think he'll do a great job on the planning commission.
Thank you. John, do you have anything to say, or do you want to, anybody want to have any questions for John?
just want to make sure he wasn't coerced.
Step up to the mic.
Tell us a little bit about you.
He's great.
They said I've been on the planning commission for a couple of years as an alternate. It's kind of a badge I've worn proudly as being that alternate guy instead of the other guy, but I'm looking forward, happy to move up to the high chairs.
Cheap seats.
I've lived in Pleasant before. I think I'm 2 years, 15 now. Lived in this area and worked out in Pleasant for most of my adult. Love the city, love the area, love the people I've worked with on the planning commission, with good, smart people that care tremendously about the community, and I welcome this opportunity to keep going.
Thank you.
Any questions?
You know, I talked to John a little bit on the phone just in anticipation of this, and kind of explained to him what I expect out of the planning commission. And that really is, you know, to identify the ordinances and things that we have in the city. And I look, as a city council person, I look to the planning commission for those recommendations. So I don't have time to go through every detail. You know, we have the ability as a city council, you guys have that ability to have some feelings put into it a little bit, but planning commission, they're black and white. So I appreciate it. I think we have a really good planning commission right now, and I think this will just strengthen it. I do have a question for our legal, Monia Storo. Her appointment ended in October 26th of 2025. I have not talked to Monia, but I think she wants to continue. So do we hold and wait for that for another?
Yes, because she would serve until she's replaced.
So she's out of, you know, the year, but I think she'll continue to go. So we'll put that on another agenda, I guess.
So we only have one vacancy, or
And we have two, but Monia she's still serving, but she is a 4-year term, so she's up in 2025.
if Julie hasn't finished her term yet, we can still make the appointment today?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the motion would be to appoint David Gosner, John Morris as full-time, commissioners and appoint Brian Gray as an alternate. And we still want to have one more alternate at some point, but I don't have anybody else in mind at this point, so think about that. I think it's gonna go in the newsletter. This, in the Fed,
With the newsletter at the first week of February,
So-
advertising that, for letters of interest for that. And then I have received, interest from, David Clark, I believe, and so I'll just, compile those when they come in and.
so I'll look at those. I think,
Isn't he already, he's on, isn't he?
No, this is a different David Park.
Oh, he Clark, not Park.
Clark, yeah.
Okay.
so I will look at those and I'll bring those names to the city council for approval. We'll get one more. Anyway, so I didn't, a motion?
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve John Morris and David Gosner as commissioners on the planning commission effective February 1st.
Yeah.
And then Brian Gray as an alternate for the commission.
Okay, we have a motion.
Just question on the motion. Well, no, I'll withdraw my question.
I will second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Thank you, Ann. All right, we've talked about our planning session last time and we could not come up with a date. And,
I think the issue was Saturday versus an evening.
well, we just couldn't come up with a date. So I'd like to do it sometime in February.
Excuse me.
I asked everybody to come with a couple dates that they could do. Has it changed? I don't. What's your thoughts? Again, this will be a work session. I anticipate 2 to 3 hours. It'll be a public, open to the public because we'll have quorums. It'll be a time when we can really talk. And I want to work out some of our goals, our strategic goals that we want to accomplish and some of the things that, some of these projects that are kind of stalled out, not going, and several things that I would like to see happen. So I expect when you come, that you come with, we want to have an agenda. So I'll be thinking about these things we can put on the agenda. I don't just want it to be snowballs that's thrown
Right.
helter skelter.
Have a
So
purpose.
have a purpose, so.
Did we decide it? So you're looking for a Tuesday or a Saturday? Is that correct? So.
Tuesdays are tough because opposite of city council is the court.
So
We kind of came with that.
21st or 28th?
So, staff, it's hard for them to come in on a weekend or not. Are you okay with that, Andrea?
It's fine, just
Laurie?
don't do it on Valentine's.
We're gonna have Beto's as a,
Breakfast-
as a breakfast.
No,
burritos.
no. We're having Chick-fil-A.
Breakfast burrito Beto's. There you go.
So are we looking for a night? I'm open any Thursday if we wanted to try that.
Are you not free on a Saturday? Those are tough.
I'm willing to do some Saturdays. The problem is like Valentine's Day and you got other holidays too.
What about is any, the 21st, anybody?
I'm out of town the 21st.
Okay,
28th?
I'm good the 28th. But
that puts us out there a little bit, but if that's,
Says 28, Dave
Johnny?
says 28, Johnny says 28.
prefer a weeknight, but.
And what about you?
Ann, are you free on the 28th?
Yes.
We do this at 8 o'clock to
Noon?
hopefully 10. I mean, I don't want to just be there all day either, but do it 8 o'clock. We'll have Laurie get us some nice Chick-fil-A breakfast sandwiches or something.
Can we
That-
see if we can identify a night and after, during the week?
Okay, so we
Can
have
we
the
try?
28th is a Saturday. Is there any? Thursdays are good for me. I mean, I'm not good on Wednesday nights, Tuesday nights, we got stuff. I mean, it'd either be a Monday, but Mondays are bad for me too. I'm sorry. I've got-
Thursday would be the best for me.
So
Sorry,
are there
Thursday,
any Thursdays that everybody can do?
Thursdays
Thursday
are
the 5th.
bad for
Just
me.
not second Thursday.
Thursdays are out for you, Ann?
Yes.
Planning commission.
planning commission and you city council.
Let's,
First and second.
let's do the 28th at 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Dave, can you
good.
do that?
I'm good with that.
Can you guys?
Okay,
Okay.
I don't think we need a motion, just an agreement.
Is that enough time though? If we're gonna meet, do we need to do more than that?
What? More
We-
time?
8, yeah.
8 to 12 or
2 hour
we can
block.
longer?
We could do 8 to 11. I mean, but by the time you get, there's only so much mud can stick, and after a couple hours, we're tired of it, so.
But if you say 8 to 11, you can end early.
We can, I think if we just get the date, then we're good. And we'll start at 8 o'clock and try to be out there as quick as we can, so.
I would, just as a thought, I think it would be helpful, and maybe Johnny and Sean can weigh in on this, but I think it'd be helpful for them to actually have a tour of the city properties and can maybe go see some of the wells and some of the water issues. I don't know if we can fit that in, or if that's something we need to do later in the year, when it's summertime.
I don't want to do it on that day, but I would be happy to go with them. Tyson, we could have Tyson take you up to the wells.
Field
Are you
trip.
talking about as an entire council or just them by?
I think it'd be good to have a whole council.
We
with
can do that. We have to notice it, but for the 28th, I'd want to have that be a work session. That's not a travel session, personally, but
I'm fine with that.
we can do another day. As long as we don't have a quorum, we can go. If we want everybody there to go, we can notice that. But good luck trying to find a date that everybody can go.
I initially went without anybody, and then we did some touring, of
Okay.
wells.
When Ann and I got on council.
Yeah, we did. We went.
I think
and
it's
looked
really
at some
helpful.
wells.
to do that.
Can we agree to schedule that later
Sure.
date?
That's fine.
Tyson, you'll need to help us go get through some of the locks. I don't
If-
think any of my keys fit any of those things, so
If it's helpful, maybe just give us the assignment to get it done before the 28th.
perfect.
Is that good?
I feel good. Tyson's busy, but I think if you can help us, it's beneficial to understand how
The
things work
geography.
and just,
Just the.
and there's a
properties.
lot of stuff, we went one time and kind of towards some of these projects. And I encourage you, if something's on the agenda, go look at it, go look at RISE. Just make sure we understand what's going on there. Anyway, we good with that?
28th.
28th?
28th, 8 a.m.
Laurie, we good with that?
I haven't been on a tour for a long time.
It's my boy's birthday, so we'll get out of here for that. All right, we are going to go into recess and go into our redevelopment agency meeting. Do we need to, what do we need to do for that? Just have a motion? David, you missed it. You can sign in if you want, or you can just say, this is David Gosner. I think everybody knows him. We're happy to welcome him to the planning commission.
Andrea, you were on it. You already sent that meeting invite. There you go.
So we want to go into recess. So I'd entertain a motion to go into the redevelopment agency meeting.
So moved.
I'll second the
Second.
motion.
The motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And you good?
Yes.
Okay, we have another set of agenda items for that. There should be two. There's a project plan and a project budget. Pieces of literature there. We have Matt and Scott. Okay, and Scott probably doesn't know this, but I think I worked with him a little bit years ago. Envy, did you work for Envy? Envy? We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
So I went to put your number in and it came up as another, I said, well, how many of these people are there? Anyway, so thank you.
Do we need to enter a public hearing first, or?
Let's do the consent items first. Item number
Oh.
one.
Forgot about that.
We have the meeting minutes.
We do?
And I apologize, I have not looked. Do we have the meeting minutes, Laurie?
I didn't see any meeting minutes.
There's not any in here.
Okay, all right, we do not have meeting minutes. We will
Should
skip.
we skip the consent then?
We're gonna, let's table that. Do we need a motion for that? Let's have a motion to table consent items till next meeting.
So moved.
Have a motion,
I'll second the motion.
second by Marriott. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's just go right into the public hearing, I guess, and then we'll have, who's gonna present this? Is that,
I would
Okay.
just let,
just let's go into public meeting, public hearing?
I would just, if we go into a public hearing, I'd like to keep it open for sure throughout the whole discussion.
Oh, yeah,
So,
no, again, remember, the public hearing is for, we can't make any motions or anything in the public hearing, so
Yeah,
questions can be asked, but
yeah, generally, I mean, you generally have your time limit on your public hearing
Yeah.
for speaking as well, but
3 minutes.
yeah, but, they have one time they don't keep coming
yeah.
up. But the other thing is it's beneficial generally to have someone with a presentation and then you motion to enter your public hearing
Yeah.
and then you have a motion to close the public hearing.
Well, we can do either way. I think we're not gonna have a lot of issues other than
That's what other agencies do is all presentations, that would be helpful if anyone did have any questions.
Do you feel comfortable about not going into public hearing then and just?
Well, that's why I want to make sure that we have the presentation before we.
Oh,
close the
no,
public hearing.
no, of course, yeah, no, we would definitely want to hear from everybody.
Okay.
All right, we will just hear, and this is, Rob Sant. We'll talk about, well, are you gonna talk about the project plan as well?
Yes.
We have those as two items. So let's talk about item number 3, the project area plan. Andrea, we good with that? Okay,
So yeah, so the presentation will kind of go over both the plan and the budget. And what we'll do is, we won't really go into plan and budget documents. The presentation highlights a lot of that, but we did want to include the plan and budget as it's an attachment, to the resolutions if you decide to adopt them. And just as a reminder of the process, I was here in November, so I'm Rob Sant, I'm the president of Urban and Maine Consulting. And I was retained by the Northern Utah Economic Alliance, which is a group of Wheat County and Davis County to assist the redevelopment agency with going through the process of adopting the project budget. And so in November, when we met, you as an agency approved a survey resolution. It also gave the consultants and the city staff, agency staff, permission to,
Might be helpful for you to hold it too.
okay. I don't think it was on.
You
Is that
can
better?
take it out and hold it.
I can just hold it. Yep, perfect. Great.
there we go.
Thank you so
So
much.
in
better.
November, we adopted the survey resolution, which gave permission to the consultants.
Can you hear that?
Yep, now I can hear.
you
him. Yep, now I
Okay,
can.
sorry
Thank you.
about that. To draft a project area plan and project area budget for the RISE Community Reinvestment Area. And so that was drafted in December. And then part of that process is we have to do a 30-day notice period where we have the plan and budget in front of you available for public inspection. So during the last 30 days, we didn't receive any comments on the plan and budget. And then tonight is the public hearing to adopt the plan and budget. So I'll go through this presentation. A lot of it was what we discussed in November. So I'll go through some of the slides rather quickly. I know there are a few new agency board members. So stop me if you have any questions as we go through this. And then as you mentioned too, we have the plant director to answer any questions about why the project area is needed. So if you can just go to the next slide. And some of this is kind of just an overview. So what is a community reinvestment agency? Again, the Pleasant View Agency was created in a previous law. So you're known as a community, redevelopment agency, and now they're known as reinvestment agencies. But it's a legal entity that's created by a municipality to promote economic development, job creation, redevelopment of underutilized areas, and to support public infrastructure and affordable housing, oftentimes through public and private partnerships. And then an agency acts as a separate limited purpose local government, really to reinvest property tax revenues in project area plans, and to grow the tax base of the city, of their area. And then now, previously, and you guys have created other project areas, there were different categories. There was CDAs, URAs, and EDAs. Now they're all known as community reinvestment areas, or a CRA.
If you go to the next slide. And this just kind of goes over that history. So this has been a tool that's been around since the 80s. It's a tool that's used throughout the state of Utah. I think currently there are about 85 redevelopment agencies, all the way from Garden City down to St. George. And I want well over 200 project areas have been created. So it's a tool that the legislature created for at the local level to help spur catalytic projects in cities. So we go to the next page. So tax increment financing, or TIF, is the main tool that's used to reinvest in these project areas. The first thing that's important to know is it's not the result of a tax increase. So taxes stay level. It's not general fund revenue. So it's not revenue that is for the city. It's revenue that's just for the redevelopment agency. And then property taxes are frozen the year that you create project areas. And then what tax increment is, it's whatever grows from when the property taxes were frozen during the life of the project area. And project areas typically go anywhere from 10 years to, there are some that are 40 years. And they could be anywhere from 20% to 100% of the tax increment is kind of what you see throughout Utah. And this is just a nice little graph or a nice little image that we include that shows kind of how tax increment works. So the beige is that base tax. The red is the incremental tax, or the new growth after that base year. And that's the money that you negotiate with other taxing entities to get a portion of that to reinvest into the project areas. And then the purpose of CRAs, it's pretty, there's a wide range of purposes, but really it's to help existing businesses, to help new development, to help with infrastructure improvements throughout the city. It can be used for affordable housing, reduce crime, to remove blight or dilapidation in the city, and expand employment opportunities and any other community concerns or priorities that you identify as an agency. So let's get into the specifics of what the RISE CRA is. So it's really just the parcel that the current RISE Bakery sits on, which is a 21.64 acre parcel. The existing land is industrial, and the value in 2025 was $9.6 million. And the property taxes that are generated off of that are $103,000, of which the city gets just a little under $8,000 a year. And then what the proposed expansion will be, and this will be on the current vacant land in their existing parcel, you're looking at a $61 million capital investment, and 116,000 new square feet of space. And the big thing here is 170 new jobs. And then this is kind of shows a little bit more of the valuation that it'll create. So as I mentioned before, estimated base year, 9.6 million. The new incremental value that will be generated off of the new 116,000 square feet will be $15.3 million. And so your total assessed value of just adding those two together is just under $25 million. And then kind of the length of participation that we're looking for as an agency would be 15 years, and it would be 50% of the tax increment. So it'd just be an even split, where 50% would come to us as the redevelopment agency, and then 50% would remain with the taxing entities. And that just shows what I just mentioned there. Weber Area Dispatch, just so you're aware, if you go back to that one slide, they have a policy that they don't participate in these, and so we haven't included them. And this just shows, this is the money that's generated off of the base year. As I mentioned before, the Pleasant View gets $7,600, $103,000 total. That money will stay with the tax entities. And then that next column just shows what that 15-year total will be during the life of the project area. So about 1.5 million. And then this is the 50-50 split. So this is the new increment that's currently not on the property. So during the life of the project area, just the 50% would be an additional $8,800 for Pleasant View City. And for the other taxing entities, an additional $118,000 a year. So just doing the 50-50 split there creates quite a benefit over what's currently being projected. Same slide. This just shows what will be used by the agency. And then this is just a nice graph that shows, it's a little hard to read on the screen, but the yellow is the base year value, And then the green turquoise color represents the money that will be available for the agency. The gray is what shows what will stay with the taxing entities. And then after year 15, all of that just changes to new revenue for the taxing entities. You'll notice that there's a little dip in the annual value. One of the big investments and benefits in this project area is the personal property tax that will be in the new facility if it becomes an expansion of the product line. And so that deteriorates year over year. And Scott or someone that one of them could speak to this. My guess is eventually as the machines lose their life, they'll do a reinvestment in there and then that will jump back up. But we didn't assume that in our budget.
So that's just the depreciation that.
Yeah, so there's a,
that's the slope.
correct. So there's a depreciation schedule that they have to follow. And so year one, and it's a year delayed, but year one, you pay 97% of value. And that just depreciates according to a schedule down to, I want to say it's about 21%. And then that's held constant until you reinvest. And it would jump back up of the machinery. We've talked about this. I think what's important is we skip to the next one. This is something that you guys asked for after we met the first time is, hey, is this money really needed? You know, they've already kind of talked about having that new 116,000 square feet facility. And so they gave us a letter in December that kind of talked about why that money is needed. And really what it is they're kind of still deciding, and I'll turn some time over to Scott to come up. He could talk about this better than me, but they're still deciding what they want to do with that 116,000 square feet. It could be a warehouse, it could be a storage facility, or it could be an expansion and a new line. And with that comes that personal property investment and the job. And so Scott, if you want to come up and.
Sorry, I'm a little squeaky because I have a head cold, so I apologize. So questions. So the company's still trying to decide on what to do. For me, it doesn't matter. My career goal has always been to live in a smaller community to be able to create a lot of jobs. But the company is still looking at other locations as well. So you see the growth, you see the building that's starting to form. If it's a warehouse, that's like 15 jobs. If it's manufacturing, it's 170. So that's been my goal all along. I grew up in a small community. I know how a new business coming into a smaller community, what they can do for the community as far as jobs. One of the things that whenever I went to the state meeting was there's a lot of people from here that drive down to Salt Lake and they're just looking to be able to have a job to come back to Pleasant View, to North Ogden, to be able to stay here, that they don't have to make the drive. These are good paying jobs. Rise is growing, it's expanding. And so to be able to have that opportunity, that's why I took this job. I lived in Harriman. I worked at Invey previously. I lost my job to where they outsourced to Thailand. Rice isn't going to do that. And so to be able to have the opportunity to provide these jobs in Pleasant View, it's my goal. And so that's what we're doing as a company. I still don't know. I manage the plant. I manage the people that we have with the current processes that we have. But I want to be able to have it to grow. And it's not my decision, it's the company's. Matt is a super nice guy. He can give you numbers. I learned more from him in 10 minutes than I did in some of my MBA classes. And so you can talk to him, ask him any questions.
Can I
For
ask
me,
you just a quick question
yeah,
about what's
absolutely.
the starting pay range that you offer employees?
So the on the line, the production line, that's where we would start. We currently have over 100 people waiting. We have a waiting list for people to come just currently. We did a survey to see if who's interested currently, and that's there that would be able to want to relocate to do something different. Over half of my current staff on my current side in production be willing to go into a new operations if we do that here. If it's a warehouse, I've got warehouse guys that are willing to go and do the same thing. And so the lowest paying on the production line is 1780 something. And the positions go up to almost 24. So my mixers would make about 24. It's more technical.
Right.
Making frosting, you wouldn't think it would be, but the frosting that we make, it's all temperature regulated. So if we're 1 or 2 degrees off in temperature, that batch could be bad. And so the mixer, people that are making the mixes have to be very detail oriented. and follow the process. And so no matter what Rice does, it's going to be that way within the manufacturing. And then supervisors on up. So supervisors are around 80,000. Managers start at 110. And so I have 3 manager positions currently that we're looking to fill with somebody local. I told everybody in the company, don't look outside of the state, to stay inside the state. There's people here. We posted a supervisor job just recently for the warehouse. We had 60 some applicants just in the area of the surrounding area here. So there's people that are looking to come back to this. That's why I left Harriman. Harriman, I don't know if you've been there, but it's just terrible now with traffic and their fast growth, but the infrastructure hasn't kept up. That's why I wanted to come up here. I'm a small town guy. I wanted to live here in Pleasant View. I live just up the street, 6 blocks on 4050 North, and so I love it. So any other additional questions I can ask?
Ann, can you hear that? Did you hear that okay?
Yeah, I did. I do have one quick question. At what point are you going to know if you're going to be doing manufacturing, warehouse versus, like you said, you either going to do 15 jobs or going to do 100+ jobs? At what point will you know that?
I think that's part of this discussion and why Matt is here, to kind of go over and to talk to the council on what the business is looking for. For me, it can't happen soon enough. Just any other questions?
Well, sorry. So with this redevelopment agency, whatever it's called, the CRA, this will help this investment to be able to accomplish that goal of providing those extra jobs.
Yes, so the investment is twofold. So the company still doesn't know because there's other locations that they have currently that they're looking at. So what they're building could house manufacturing, or we just do warehousing, because a lot of the stuff that I make is third partied out. And that comes with a pretty significant cost as well, where you're having a 3PL manage our products because we don't have room to store it currently.
But the manufacturing would be a better investment for RISE as well as the community.
For Rice and as a community as a whole. Yep.
Matt, say your name and.
Matt Ryder. I'm a partner at Frameshift Consulting, consultant to RISE. And to specifically answer the question, we're waiting to see the outcome of the CRA process before we make official decision about where this production capacity is going to go. And we're doing an analysis of other locations similarly. Any other questions?
What's the total value of the CRA to RISE? The city value. I know we've got other entities that are involved in that, but what's that total value?
So if you go back a few slides,
That was 132, that's
right there, that one right there. So RISE would get $1.7 million.
132,000 from the city,
Over 15 years.
over 50.
That's the 15-year, yeah. So it's $118,000 a year is what they would receive. And then it's actually probably about 1.5 million, because as an agency, you would collect some admin to pay for the ongoing reporting that's required for CRAs and overhead and legal and things like that. And there's also a 10% affordable housing mandatory set aside that you can decide as an agency what you want to do with that.
You'd be giving it back as an investment to the city.
So you could, yeah. So you'd use it citywide for affordable housing projects. You could give it to the county to use in the county, you give it to the state. It's really broad what you could use that affordable housing for, but there is a 10%. So about $170,000 would have to go towards affordable housing.
So as we stated before, when you were here before, Pleasant View is just a small percentage of what that is. The Weber County schools are the big players in this.
Correct.
And talking with other people, other CRAs that are being approached, the school district has said we're done. Have you reached out to that, or whose responsibility is it then to spread that information and get a buy-in from these other.
So what would happen tonight if, once the agency elects?
So we would be the initiators of this.
Yeah,
And
so
then would you go to these other entities?
correct,
and
yep.
push?
So I would go on behalf of Pleasant View. Andrea could join me, and then we would basically kind of do the same presentation, right? What's important to know is each taxing entity also has to do an internal analysis
Yeah.
and verify, hey, is this a worthwhile
So
investment
these
for us?
numbers that you've shared with us tonight will go to them. I mean, I always say, this is an investment in the future. I mean, we're looking 15 years down the road to something bigger. And if it's gonna, I mean, what we kind of thought, if it's gonna come, why are we doing it anyway? You shed some light on that. I appreciate that. That's from the original
Yep.
meeting that we had. I think you've clarified that a little bit, at least for me. Johnny, if he's recusing himself, but Sean, that's kind of
You've actually clarified some of the questions that I.
Perfect.
so I mean, but it will be beneficial for the city, and we're keeping what we've got, which is nice. We're not losing anything. We're just gaining things, which I think is an important piece of what this is. But the big sell, so what happens if we agree it, we initiate it, we go forward with it as the entity that is managing it, and Weber County Schools tell you to go jump, because that's out of our control.
Correct.
Really.
So
We-
each of those each of those taxing entities adopts their own interlocal agreement,
Yeah.
which will have their own participation rates, their own time length of it. And so let's say that the county or the school district says, hey, we don't want to participate. Pleasant View City, we'll come back, and as a city council, you'll also have to adopt that interlocal agreement. So you could have Pleasant View City and the water district, you could have 3 entities participate and some not.
But is there a limit on when it's worth it for you to do? I mean, Pleasant View is not worth it, I don't think. I mean,
Yeah.
even to go through the process to have us do the paperwork on it's not worth it.
Yeah, so I think
And
with,
so I mean, at what point, if those 2 big ones, I mean, the others,
yeah,
they're
so,
just small.
They're all.
yeah,
independent-
how it
independent.
usually goes
Yeah,
is,
and they're dependent. I mean,
If they decide not to,
the
decide to.
the mosquito board is one on there, and
It's to you.
so typically what we'll do is, as soon as you as an agency adopts the plan and budget. So part of the noticing as well is we've had to send this to all the taxing entities, so they've seen copies of what we're asking for. We've had some initial discussions with Weber County as they were part of getting me hired to help with it. And the school district and the county, some of their big things that they like is they don't like retail. This isn't retail. They love job creation.
yeah.
And so the fact that this will create 170 new jobs, I think is a big sell. I'm going to guess that they'll participate.
So
Better actually help with the school district because
Yeah.
it brings in children.
So
Well,
I'm
yeah.
I'm hoping that that's the case, and I just worry about if, again, the council will approve this or deny it, whatever it is tonight, but if we approve it,
Mhm.
I'd like to be able to go to some of those and push on behalf of the
Yeah,
mayor,
Definitely.
with,
Yep. Yeah, for
with-
sure.
but I don't know how important that really is. I mean, I don't know.
I think
I've
it's
been
help-
I've been on this side of it, but I've never been on.
I definitely think it's helpful.
The mayor's side of it.
So both the county and the school district, they have policies in place. The county's policy is 50%. So we're within their
Yeah.
new policy. But both of them, you submit an application, which we'll do. And then you meet with an internal group first. The county has, I believe it's called their tax increment. You could probably talk. better
Economic
than I can.
Development Finance Committee.
That's what it's called. Yep. And so they have a committee. Yeah. And so Stephanie's well aware of this. And so we'll go,
So what do you think? I mean, is that something that do you think will go in the county? You think they'll support this?
I would hope so.
You can't speak on
I
behalf.
can't,
of them, correct?
and I don't have any decision.
I know,
making
but I just
authority.
wonder what's the
there,
what's the
but-
temperature of things? I know.
Yeah, we have a policy. This does fall within the county's policy, 15 years and 50%. So I think this is something that would have real consideration.
And a lot of people are trying to put 80% in
Yep.
20 years, and
Yep.
I think.
I
I think that's ridiculous to go that far, and.
also,
What's our RDA, Larry? What, was that 15 years? 12? Okay, so
Yep.
we've been through this, and we had some benefits to our RDA that we had. And that's just ended last year. So anyway, I would, at this point, maybe open this up to a public meeting. or public hearing, excuse me, is that okay? Is that, how do you feel about that?
The only other thing I was gonna say is I think, given the fact that there's those two alternative options, right? Warehouse or manufacturing expansion, and that personal property investment's $21 million. And the fact that that would basically be zero and the jobs would go from that high number to the low number, my guess is this will be a pretty easy path for the school district in the county. I have high hopes.
Considering that, yes, I would think so too. They need-
Absolutely, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have maybe a little different take on it. I'm 100% pro-business. We want business here. We want to be here. We're really glad that Brill's been here. We have,
Rise.
sorry, Rise, Brill, sorry, same company. Okay, it's Rise.
Different company.
Okay, it is different company. Sorry about that. That's how I know you've been here a long time. But we've made a really huge effort in this city in the last several years to keep our taxes low. And I believe the state has, and I believe the county has. We've fought a lot of stuff with the county and with Weaver School District to try and keep our taxes lower, and we've had to raise it. Everybody has had to do that. I do think our taxes are still competitive to a lot of states and regions, right? I struggle seeing the benefit to the residents of Pleasant View. It's a low number when you really look at it. It's $130,000 over 15 years, right? But I don't see the entry level and the positions that you're offering there at Rise are not really fitting in with majority of the residents of Pleasant View. Maybe some, high school graduate kind of stuff. It's entry level jobs, I guess is what I'm saying. So I struggle with this student, and I'm kind of struggling with that too from the other taxing entities in the county, because I got to pay all those taxes as well, and I struggle with that. I think we'd love to have Rise here. We'd love to see the expansion. We'd love to see the growth. That's great, but it's also something that the taxpayers have to shoulder that growth, and I don't think it's right for them to do that. That's just my personal opinion.
How are they shouldering it? Because we're getting what we would have got no matter what. So if they don't do anything, we're gonna keep getting what we would have gotten for the 15 years. We're just sharing with the addition above what, 8,000, what was it, 6,000?
8,000
So
yeah,
8,000.
compared to 7.
So there's it's frozen at that. We still get that every year.
Well, they get that.
No, we get that.
You get 8 and they get 8.
Okay.
So you'll go from $7,000 to $15,000 year one.
So
it's a
we're
benefit.
getting what we've got. I mean, they have open ground there. We're not giving any of that back. We're giving the additional value. We're sharing that with them for 15 years. And so it is investment in the future. It's not, the residents aren't shouldering that. In my opinion, because if nothing happens, we're staying at the same rate, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, the point I'm trying to make though is they've already made the investment. They've sunk all this investment in there. They're doing that, and that's great. I think it's a great thing. They've made a wise decision investing in our community already.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? That's the point I'm trying to make. And I don't think, personally, I don't think it's really an increase in benefit to the residents of Pleasant View. The other entities have got to make that decision on their own. That's a decision they'll have to make, but I don't see that benefit. And I don't know. I don't see a big future growth benefit out of this that really helps the city or even helps the county for that.
Well, it's a $61 million investment is a big investment to the city that may or may not come.
Oh, they've already said that.
Well, there's some that's going to come, but
No,
not
but what they
everything.
use it for is the big. So
So
of that $16,000 of new property tax, more than half of it is personal property. And so if they don't invest in the personal property, which that's the unknown, that $16,000 goes down to, 7.
Yeah,
It's not a huge number. And I think
I know there's some decisions that still need to be made, but most companies don't go out and invest in that without knowing what they're going to do. And I know you're going to expand. I hope it's great business for Rise, but me personally, I don't think that's a wise thing for us, for the taxpayer.
I think
Can I ask a question? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
go ahead, Sean.
has there been any consideration to the sales tax that might be generated with this as well? I know we're talking property tax with the CRA. Will there be any significant sales tax increase with the new production line and sales of that product potentially? Has that been thought of or a
Oh,
number?
I'll have to speak more on that, but I don't think any cells come directly from the plant, but Matt can speak to that.
Sales and use tax, yes. Sales and use tax on building materials, I think. Sales and use tax if business personal property is procured. Interesting, you mentioned the state. The state is preliminarily offered an ed TIF for this project, so they're lining up behind it. So yes, there is a sales and use tax component to it. Anything else on that?
Oh, that's it. Thank you.
Laurie.
Well, I think Bob maybe clarified something on when the city's collecting that money, if we go into this agreement, that $113,000 that we're gonna get, where is it located and what is it used for? It's not coming to the general fund anymore. It's going to be to the RDA and it has to be used for certain things, so it's not coming to the general. But I think Rob.
So the 50% would go to the general fund, but then the other 50% that would go to the RDA, and you'll have a separate account for that. And then that money could be used for three things is what the state says it could be used for. Admin, which is any overhead legal things, affordable housing, which is the 10%, and then that other, whatever's left over, so the other 85% would go for any reinvestment activities. So it could be help rise with any infrastructure costs. You know, you could make it, you know, if you decide to adopt the interlocal agreement or the plan and budget in your interlocal agreement, you could say, hey, we want the money to be used for plant expansion, you know, something like that.
Back into.
It has to be it has to be used in that 21 acres, correct?
So admin, meaning administration within our city, we could.
RDA administration.
Okay.
Yeah, has to be used for the RDA.
The
Yeah,
other
the affordable housing could be used citywide.
That state, you know, guided on what counts as affordable.
So it could be used for infrastructure that benefits affordable housing. It could be used for, yeah, it's pretty broad what you could use it for. It just has to have some benefit to affordable housing. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but the affordable housing, that's where it kind of can crisscross, right? Like affordable housing could be used citywide, not necessarily an agency. So there's some cities, Draper, again, we're not talking about a really big number, but some cities, they're like, hey, we're going to make Pleasant View more affordable. So they'll do a down payment assistance program. You know, it's really broad what you could use that money for. And that affordable housing money is bigger than what the city's portion will be for 15 years, right? Because it's money from the other taxing entities. The other thing too, sorry, just, it's really hard when you're a redevelopment agency because you're wearing two different hats, right? So tonight, you need to be thinking about what's the best for the redevelopment agency. And then we'll come back a month from now and talk to you as a city council. And that's when you could say, hey, for the city, I don't think this is a good tax increase or, you know, something like that. But tonight, you're a redevelopment agency. And then, so you're not really, I don't want to say you're not as concerned as what your same concerns as the city council would be, but it's a different hat. And sometimes it could be hard and confusing to do that. But from a city perspective, that's going to be a month from now when we're coming back for you to adopt the interlocal agreement as the city.
So I actually had a lot of the same concerns that you had, Dave, with talking, what is the benefit to the residents here? What is the benefit to the city? Because, and in talking with a couple of my colleagues, it was, you know, my horizons were broadened just a little bit of, you know, I first of all thought about the whole 15 years. So that's over $100,000 that the city would be giving up as an investment, you know, for this project. And our budget's really kind of small. And so it ends up being, like you said, a little bit under 8,000 a year. So I wanted to know specifically, and you've already answered the question, what would that $8,000 per year help you with? And so it goes from either a warehouse to a manufacturing plant. And so, yeah, these jobs are, you know, they're not, some of them are, you know, well high range, but most of them are just kind of mid-level, you know, starting from 16 to 24. However, it's an investment within our city. It's not a ton of money. And I can see it both ways of, again, giving up a little bit, for our residents, what are we gonna get out of it? But Rise has been a long time occupant, well, just that plant itself. And you guys have invested in our community. And perhaps this could be an incentive to see what else Rise could do for our community. Of we invest in you, you reinvest in this area as well.
Yeah. And I think Rise, in their packet of information they gave us, I want to say the average wages was about $52,000. So when you take all those into account, it's not,
Yeah, so the average wage for the 170 jobs would be about 52,000, 53,000, which is roughly 15% higher than the average production wage in this county. So what that means is that for people who are not going to work white collar jobs, that are going to work production jobs, which is actually a substantial portion of your workforce, they're going to make more working at Rise than they are at another company on average in your county. Rise is a good payer.
Right. And hopefully that brings them here to then, produce commerce for us as well with,
Right.
Hopefully, eating at our establishments and, patroning the things that we have here that we need to have those patrons here. And so Rise is located next to our brand new Chick-fil-A and down the street from some other restaurants and things like that. And so if you bring in more employees, I'm assuming you have a break time and hopefully they run down the street and go eat here and reinvest in our city as well.
Yeah. And the 170 jobs in the production scenario, that becomes 15 jobs in the warehouse scenario, are not the same jobs. So the average salary for the warehouse scenario is significantly lower, because what you're talking about at that point is essentially material handlers, forklift drivers, which is not a terrible job.
No.
It's a wonderful job for a lot of people. There's nothing wrong with being a forklift driver, but it pays a lot less than $52,000 a year. And so what you're looking at really is apples and bananas. They're very dissimilar scenarios. They're very dissimilar from a taxation perspective. Your incremental property tax revenue will go down significantly if it's a warehouse. For the point that Rob made, you're not going to have any taxation on business personal property, or hardly any. It's very expensive. $20 million of equipment becomes almost nothing. Perhaps some racking, but it's going to be depreciated very quickly. It doesn't have a high price point. The jobs certainly change. And I think the strategic trajectory of the plant changes if that 116,000 square feet isn't used for production, but it's used as a warehouse. It does not set the stage for continued growth, especially if this capacity goes to another market.
Mayor, I have comments when we get a lull here.
Go ahead, Ann.
So I'm a little bit of a disadvantage because the screen share wasn't working. I didn't see the PowerPoint, so I'm just a little disadvantaged. But if I'm reading this right, Rise Bakery is worth $2.5 billion. I looked up their EBITDA, which is their earnings before interest and taxes, depreciation and amortization. So their EBITDA is $220 million in the last 12 months. I feel like they would be getting 1.5 million from us. In this size of a company, that is not a very big ticket. And it's a lot for our city to be donating 130,000 for over 15 years. So I feel like we're not really getting the benefits of new parks, new infrastructure that will help us. Like the benefits don't feel like they're there for us. And at this point, there's no guarantee if they're going to go manufacturing or if they're going to go warehouse. Like I just don't see that the advantages for Pleasant View outweigh what they're asking for us, especially on this size of a company where I don't feel like 1.5 million is much for them to invest in a $2.5 billion company. So that's my opinion.
Mayor, can I? So I see it a little differently. I see a low risk with a significantly big upside. And for 15 years and the amount of money that we're investing, I think it's well worth the risk, in my opinion. And by risk, we're not really, what we're risking is we're staying the same and we grow at a much smaller tax rate or an increase in value versus what we could get if if this happens and the value increases exponentially. And then we do see a benefit versus we just stay the same if we don't approve it. So for me, this is not, it's not really even a risk scenario. It's, do we want to grow? Then we invest a little bit of money. Otherwise, we just stay the same.
And these, this presentation is in your packet under the redevelopment agency, if you want to be able to see it.
Thanks.
So that was emailed to you. So if you do want to look at those numbers really quick.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Scott.
So just, I'll give it a little bit more detail. So not only is it the restaurant situation that you brought up, but we use all local contractors for the plant. So Eric is my maintenance manager. He's been there at the plant for 13 years. Whenever I go to him with a problem, I say, I know a guy. So he'll call the guy, he calls somebody local. We use reverse engineering, which is right here in Ogden as an example. We spent over $2 million in maintenance just alone last year and improving what we currently have. And so it's not just about that, yeah, we have product that we're producing or could potentially produce. There's significant money that we spend in the community locally because my workforce, my managers, have been there for 9 years in some cases. Some of the people that we have that's working in the production floor, 12, 13 years. They were there when there was CSM, they've been there when it's Brill, and they're there when it's Rise as well. Not only that, I'm a big continuous improvement. And so I also have investments as far as like continuous improvement. How are we going to save money as a company that the company can then reinvest into additional equipment or upgrading some of my current equipment? And again, all local providers that would come in to help to install and keep upkeep on the maintenance as well. So for my part, my perspective, working with city councils in my past, it's not only looking at just what currently is or what could be, but it's in addition to all the people and the jobs, but it's local contractors that we get to come in and help to do keep our equipment running. So again.
I mean, the perception is that $1 million doesn't matter to a company like Rise, but why don't you talk about the initiatives that you have going on this year with a goal of saving $1 million and how hard you work?
Sure. I've been in manufacturing my whole life. I don't have much of a life outside of it, honestly. I spent a lot of hours there. I had to get my teams to understand what continuous improvement is, what Lean Six Sigma is, what 5S is, to improve the facilities that I manage. $1 million savings is a full year's worth of work, multi-different teams that are spending an additional time to their normal job that they volunteer to come and spend a few hours a week to be able to kind of brainstorm, what do we need to do to save $700,000 or $500,000 or $300,000, in some case, $100,000, some cases $100, right? Because continuous improvement isn't always about the big dollar sign. It's about where can you improve a process to make somebody's job easier, that they're not having to lift things, make it more ergonomic. Those are investments in CapEx that the company makes in addition to the continuous improvement that I currently have to do with my staff. CapEx is the company, last year, I don't remember the dollars, but for the plant here in CapEx, we spent over $2 million in new upgrades to a lot of the equipment. Again, local or suppliers that Eric uses to help to procure some of the stuff that we have. So you hear some big dollars, but there's a lot of people that are making this $17, $18 an hour that are part of these teams to help us improve their jobs, their ergonomics, the things that they have to do on a daily basis, because it sucks standing on your feet for 8 hours a day. And so it's my job to try and make it easier. And the fact that I have a crew and a team that is so engaged right now with 100 people waiting to come in and work, because my son, who's a teenager, went and worked at Oakley and Nutra, making $15 an hour. We're paying $17, $18 to start. And so, like what Matt said, the numbers kind of speak for themselves about what we as a company are trying to provide with our company values. And so it's, people want to just come here to work. And I think I wanted to say that a little bit better than what I did previously. So sorry, my voice is.
So at this point, I'd like to open a public hearing and make or entertain a motion to go into a public hearing.
Mayor- Yeah, I'll second the motion.
So we have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, would anybody like to speak? 3 minutes? Unless you get out of hand, we'll get the hook out.
The proposal to the state, Rise Bakery. And it mentions, throughout the installation, what they're talking about is energy. Let me see, back up a minute. To the, reduced production of waste material. RISE seeks to minimize waste where possible in our supply chain. The construction of the additional footprint in Pleasant View provides opportunity to install bulk material storage on that site. If developed, new structure would include bulk flour and sugar silos to hold 90,000 pounds of raw material. These materials are currently produced in paper bags, which create a large volume of waste. In addition to bulk silos, the bulk silos would reduce solid waste. Anyhow, what I'm getting at is it sounds to me like it's more of a storage facility.
Would you say your name?
Brian Gray.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Brian.
Anybody else? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to go out of the public hearing.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we go out of the public hearing.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second by Wilkinson. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Yes.
opposed? And yes, thank you.
Yes.
All right, any further questions or comments? I have to agree with Sean. I think it's a great opportunity. We're not losing a whole lot. We're just gaining things, and they're a good partner. I don't know. I questioned when I was on the council, why do you need it? I think that's what Dave kind of brought up a little bit, and I echo that. You're gonna come anyway, no matter what we do, because it's a pain to do it. It's a pain for staff to put it in. I think you've clarified that a little bit, at least in my mind, but it's up to the council for sure, so. Any more
Well,
discussion or?
What are we accomplishing tonight? That sounds like we're talking about
This is the
the
redevelopment
redevelopment
agency.
opportunities to redevelop,
Yeah.
not necessarily the decision, right?
Yeah, this is to start the process for the redevelopment.
So tonight, what you would do is you will formally adopt the project area plan and budget. And with that formally adopted, then that starts the process where consultants, city staff, mayor, if you'd like to join, will go and negotiate with the other taxing entities to try to actually get the revenue. Tonight doesn't guarantee any revenue. You just are formally adopting the plan and budget.
And does that officially make us the planner of
So with,
record or whatever? Or
so with this,
makes
in
us
the state of Utah, the redevelopment agency is the entity that creates plans and budgets.
Okay, so then we would be the managing person.
So you have a new project area, correct?
Put some more stuff on the staff.
Right.
And that's what that admin is for, right?
Right, I
Yeah.
understand.
Yep.
Legal, anything from legal aspect?
I always defer to Rob on these, 'cause he's great.
Any other comments or questions? I mean, this is a big deal. Anyway.
Correct, yeah. So typically this is the easy part, right? And then you have to go and sit down with, you do the school district in the county first. And then typically whatever the school district, county and city do, all the other entities just say, we're good with it.
Then
But
explain a little bit then the next step with the city council.
So what will
Just
happen?
Give me a Reader's Digest version of that, just 2 minutes
Correct.
or 1 minute or
So-
30 seconds.
So come back to you with an interlocal agreement that says you're going to give the redevelopment agency 50% of the new tax increment for 15 years.
So will those numbers change that you've given to us
That-
today?
the other people don't.
Yeah, I mean, will there be a new set of numbers and budgets or?
Potentially, but
if the other entities
So-
don't participate, does that change our amount?
It could, I mean, it's up to the city and the agency to do that. So
And I-
it's not automatic.
And I know some CRAs or the RDAs, there was a budget limit too, that it could be paid off early. I mean, is that,
Yeah, so the county and the school district, now they won't adopt one without having a cap,
okay,
is what it's called. And so the cap will probably be the 1.7 million. And so in the event that the personal property's higher, or, you know, I don't have a crystal ball, so I based what the assessed value would be off of comparables, but let's say it's assessed at a higher value, then it could be paid off
could be
earlier
paid
than
off early.
15
So
years.
that cap would be, that's a standard operating
Yeah,
procedure.
so
for-
what you'll do
for
as an
the money?
agency is the ultimate step is you'll enter into a participation agreement with RISE. And in that agreement, I could help draft that as well. That's part of my service. You'll basically say, hey, we'll give you X% of the tax increment we receive for 15 years, or $1.5 million, whichever happens first. And in the event that it comes in lower than what we're saying, then you're only guaranteeing it for 15
So the
years.
15 years then becomes the
Mhm.
cutoff.
Yep, correct. Or that number.
Yeah.
And so to answer your question, I know I could do death by detail sometimes.
It was a Reader's Digest version.
Yeah.
remember
It's
that?
not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee that they'll come back and say, oh, the county and school district said no, so now you have to give 100%. So right now, we're just going to ask 15 for 50. I'm assuming that the county, we've had some initial discussions with the county, they've been supportive. My guess is you'll get the big three, and so all the others will also participate. But yeah, so we'll come back sometime as the city and you'll adopt it. And then the last thing you'll do as a redevelopment agency is you'll adopt all the other agreements that we've negotiated.
So having said that, I entertain a motion to just approve this project plan and budget, or?
It's two separate resolutions.
Okay,
We
two-
will
two separate
do
resolutions.
two motions.
Okay,
You want to do a motion for the plan?
2025 2026 -A, let's do that first, the project area plan, number 3.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 2026-B.
No, let's do A.
Oh, pardon me. Oh.
A and then RDA.
Okay, I apologize. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution 2026-A, RDA adopting the Rise Community Reinvestment Area Project Area Plan as presented.
So we have a motion by Yuri,
Second.
second by Wilkinson. All in favor, say
Questions?
aye.
Oh, question,
Yes.
sorry, discussion.
Go ahead.
So the plan is just what we're saying is like, the building site, how big it's gonna take, that kind of stuff in the packet.
So the plan kind of talks about the area. There's like 15 requirements that talks about the plan. So it doesn't really get into specifics of like a development agreement, like they're gonna build this and they're gonna do this. It's more of just talking about the project area specifically and what development will likely happen in the project area. Yeah.
Legal description bounds of the area.
Yeah, so it kind of talks about what you can use it for, what the goals are for the project area, and then things like that.
Any other comments? We have a motion by Yuri, second by Wilkinson. All in favor? Oh, excuse me. Thank you. This is a roll call. We will go out of order. Wilkinson,
Yes.
Yuri,
Yes.
Marriott,
No.
Arrington,
No,
so I'm going to vote in the affirmative on this. That'll pass 3-2. Okay, we have item number 4, project area budget. This will be resolution 2026-B, RDA. Have a motion?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 2026-B, RDA adopting the Rise Community Reinvestment Area Project Area Budget.
Second.
Second.
A motion and a second. And then this will also be a roll call. Let's start with Arrington,
no,
Marriott,
No.
Erie,
Yes.
Wilkinson,
Yes.
I will vote also in the affirmative. Yes, that was 3-2. Thank you very much. All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the Pleasant View Redevelopment Agency.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we adjourn the RDA meeting.
Okay, have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
I'd like to make one note, the Urban and Main, we have a new picture in the front.
Okay,
This is old.
okay,
We have a nice new look at the front.
perfect.
Okay, do we need a motion to go back into the regular meeting then?
No, we'll just.
Just recess, so we're back in the meeting. Do you need to change the tape, Laurie? Okay, perfect. So we have, let's do other business. Let's start with Laurie. Is there a number 10? Oh. Well, is that?
So this is a formality. I should have said this when you said, what's the next step for the city council? Apologize. So it's just state statute requires that after a redevelopment agency adopts a project area plan, it doesn't come effective until the city council says, hey, what the RDA did, we approve. So it's just a formality. That needs to
We don't
occur.
have all that information though. There'll be another vote then to come forward?
So it's just, the plan, and you could probably speak to this better than I can. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's exactly, it's just the city council needs to adopt the plan as well because it's within the city bounds. So the agency, because you're wearing that different hat as agency members of the agency, you're now acting as a city council and Rob's.
Yeah,
exactly
so
right, it's just
it doesn't,
As city council members, what we just approved as RDA.
so
Just
you're
the
just,
plan.
yeah, just the plan. You don't have to do it for the budget. So basically what it says is in order for the plan to become effective, the city has to say, hey, we're approving what the RDA just approved. Like there's no public hearing that's required. It's really just a step.
And it doesn't, and same thing, it doesn't bind the city council to then approve an interlocal at a later date.
So that's still coming. That's what I'm just concerned with. Okay.
And so, yeah, you just always have to do that step after the RDA has done.
All right, item number 10. I apologize. It's my first mistake. Oh, my first overlook. Sorry, Ann.
Good thing I'm not there.
Discussion
Kicking you.
possible consideration to approve the RISE Community Investment Area Project Area Plan as approved by the Pleasant View City Redevelopment Agency as the official community reinvestment project plan area. Ordinance 2026-5. Does Johnny have an ability to vote on this or is that still abstaining? Okay, so I'd entertain a motion.
I move for approval of ordinance 2026-5.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second by Yuri. This will be a roll call vote as well. Ordinance 2026-5. Let's go to Wilkinson,
Yes.
Yuri,
Yes.
Marriott,
No.
and Arrington.
No.
I will break the tie with an affirmative yes. Okay, so let it be written.
We'll see you in a few months.
A few months, a month.
Depending on how long they meet.
All right.
We'll see you soon.
Time is.
Time is of the essence.
Yeah, we want to, anyway, I'll go on, sorry. Laurie, thank you for keeping us straight on item number 10.
Businesses and into the financial.
It is.
Thank you. Andrea.
I just have a lovely little gift for you all. The League of Cities in Town yearly puts out its powers and duties book. It's awesome for reference. One of the front pages, they have contact information for different staff at the league, and it indicates
Like what they specialize in, like land uses, Meg Ryan and, Jared Teeney's the legal advisor. Anyways, they're a great resource to reach out to. And then it just goes over local government 101. It talks about land use, talks about your meetings, what your role is. But like I said, it's just a really great reference if you have any questions about what your duties are and what your powers are. So I will hand these out to you after the meeting.
It's awesome.
I will just say, open and public meetings is something we need to turn in this year. You have until December 31st. So please make sure that's something simple to turn in, but that's part of the audit to see that we've done it. It's a yearly deal, so
It's
please.
online training, right?
Online training, yeah.
You usually send us the links that count.
So I know it's early, but sometimes it takes,
Open and public meetings training. Oh,
yeah.
great.
Just make sure to get that into Laurie before the end of the year. Chief.
Sorry, I want to apologize. I missed last time when everybody got swore in, but I'm excited to work with the new mayor and a new city council, and I look forward to that. The
I
police
took
department-
it personally. When you were here, by the way.
I knew you would. I knew you would. So, no, I'm excited to report that the police department's doing really well. We are fully staffed. I know that's the first question I get from a lot of people is, are you guys fully staffed? We are. We're fully staffed now, and we have 4 good part-time officers. And so coverage has been really good. I do, one thing that I take a lot of pride in is I think we have 12 full-time officers, and I think 10 of them have 10 years of experience or more. And so things are really good that way, and a lot of that comes from a supportive mayor and council, and that means a lot to police officers when they're out seeking job opportunities. A lot of the first questions I get asked in interviews or when people apply is, how's your city administration? And that's a huge benefit for us. Crime has been low this year. We've been able to be really proactive in
Don't say that out loud.
yeah.
Keyword
And that's an
proactive.
emphasis that we really put on is that, you know, I really take a lot of pride in having our guys be out and about and be seen in the neighborhoods a lot. And we do a lot of business checks and stuff like that. Again, like I reported earlier, I appreciate you voting to put an officer on that ICAC task force. That's only going to be a benefit to us. And I'm excited to give him that opportunity. He was watching the council meeting and he texted me already tonight and said, hey, I won't let you guys down. I'll do the very best I can do. So I'm excited about that. And I just want to thank everybody for their support and as we move forward.
We have a new baby in the department?
Yep. We have a new little baby doing well. Mom and baby are doing really well. I text her like a couple days after she had the baby and I said, just reminding you don't have 3 months left. So, but no, we're doing good. We're getting by without Alicia, who's the gal that's up front here all the time. And when she interviewed, I said, you know, this job you're like the hub of the department. Everything goes through her, and I've been filling in for her lately. And yeah, we police officers require a lot. So, but I'm not as helpful as she is most of the time. So, but no, I appreciate everything and everything's good. And I hope you all have my cell phone number and reach out to me if you need anything or questions or concern. If you see something in the council packet that you want to ask me about, feel free to call me and have a discussion. The mayor pops in sometimes and has asked me, and I'm happy to visit with you anytime. So
Detective work still going down? We good there?
yeah, those two are really doing a good job in there, really effective. A lot of the crime nowadays is through electronics, and our detective that we have in there right now is very, very good with electronics. In fact, when this ICAT guy got a hold of me, first thing I said was like, he's staying at Pleasant View. So, but they've been really effective that way. So nice job.
Tyson.
No, thank you for the support on the projects, and we picked up another full-time employee we're glad to have back. He was a great operator when he's here, and I made the choice to come back. Parker.
Oh, perfect.
Yes. So we're just working through the onboarding, and that'll put us at just the 2 missing positions. So we'll finish up some audit items while we're doing the onboarding, and then move into those next 2. So
What department will he be in?
streets and stormwater. That's where he was originally. He was one of the operators, and yeah, like I said, glad to have him back. Timing's great. So we're welcoming in the 2 new babies, the same roughly the same week.
Wow.
So, yes.
And I turn the time over to you.
I'm just wondering when Tyson's
Yeah.
gonna unhook the plows so it'll snow. And
We can de-plow them all and see if that'll make the trigger
Something's
go
gonna
after
happen.
the call.
I've asked Ann to help us with some communication and some different things that are different. And she's going to present a couple of things for your consideration. I don't think we'll make any choice tonight or decision tonight, obviously, but Ann, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. I'm just basically seeing what the appetite of the council is, just to kind of put me in the right direction. So like the mayor said, he's kind of tasked me with some communications. As you know, we have like a newsletter that goes out to the email, but it only goes to just the reader only, like one per household, right? So we're kind of missing people there. You know, the challenges of Facebook that we don't have, you know, everyone on the community there. Beyond that, it's kind of a forum for people to be antagonistic, things like that. So I've done a little bit of research on some companies that will do like a direct app type messaging thing. There's a couple companies that are competitors, and I've only done my like first layer of due diligence at this point, but I just want to ask the council if they have an appetite for, we'd have to spend about $500 a month to do that kind of a service. And I'm just seeing, do you guys have an appetite for something like that? Do we have a budget for that? Do you want me to go to the second layer, dig deeper? Like I would go ask other cities and communities that are already using these apps, how it's working for them. But if you're kind of like, no, I don't want to dedicate that kind of budget to that, then I'll stop here and go a different direction. So just love to hear a little bit of feedback from you guys preliminarily before I continue on.
And is one of these the one that Ogden City uses that we talked about? Is that one of the ones you're considering?
Yes. Yep.
What kind of, so if you do SMS messaging, what kind of things would be prioritized? What would you be sending out? You know, would it be
Right. Well,
referring to,
and
hey, look here? Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we can run it a lot of different ways, but you can also localize just neighborhoods. So you can say to a neighborhood like, yeah, your water's going to be off or this road's going to be shut down, but you don't have to send that to the whole community. You can just send it to that like targeted area. We can, of course, do like events or things like that, and they can choose to opt in to recreation or opt out of recreation notifications. So, I mean, it can get pretty detailed. It's super easy for everyone to sign up. It's just a QR code, just really easy that way. So, like I'm saying, I think it could be really cool. We could try it for a year. Like I said, I'm just seeing how you guys feel about it before I continue on.
Just one more. Is this something that staff would be responsible for, or would you be doing it? Or is this, my concern is, making sure that, that obviously there's a price tag, but would staff then have to be responsible to make sure that these things get out? And would that be another thing on their plate to have to make sure that they would do, or, we don't want to overburden staff. So just wondering how that would look.
Yeah, I mean, if that's something we'd have to decide, like, but this forum, if you posted it here, it would post it automatically to our Facebook page, we could have it connect to our website. So it could, it doesn't have to be posted in like 4 different spots. It would just be one post and it would do it all. So.
Okay.
So I just wanted to say that Heather was looking today on, and we do have an option on the website for a subscription that we've just got to go in and figure out, but then people can subscribe. So once a newsletter is posted or gets posted on planning or something like that, I guess we do have the ability to do that. So Heather just needs to look into it a little bit further. So I don't know if that would help on that side, or if you'd still want to consider this other option. I just wanted to bring that
That
up.
it would send out a text or send out an email on the website.
I'm not positive because it asked for her email and her first name, so I'm guessing by email.
Okay.
But each individual could sign up for that. But we just need to look in a little bit further. We just looked at that today.
Yeah, thanks for checking that out, because that was my first thought, is I think when we bought that software package that it had that capability to do that. So they could sign in. I'd really like to focus. First of all, I think it's a good idea. Try to get away from social media and get direct email or direct texting, but also even focus even more on the website. I think we get people in a habit of, if you want to know something about the city, you go to the city website and it's easy to find and easy to get there. So I think maybe a combination of that, and I'm open to it. I think it's a great idea, but I think we might be able to do it for free just on our current website.
Right, and I
Well, and
did
Dave-
sit through a call
go
with Anna, and I'm not
Yeah.
discounting, her options either. I just wanted to let you know that that is available on that side. It's not you're not gonna send out alerts to each person. They have to be subscribed to certain departments or certain, items on the website. So it just depends on how you want to move forward on it. But like I said, I'm not discounting what her options that she's looking into.
And one of
I
the
do like-
companies that we did dig into and looked into is actually part of our website too. So that's one of them.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of what Dave just said, pointing him into a direction. I don't think that you get rid of all of your channels just because you'll lose some of your audience, but centralizing the message with your website and things like that and pointing, using social media and email or whatever else to point them in that direction, yes. But if you want to utilize, and that's why we still do a newsletter, even though some people don't, read paper. But, well, excuse me, don't accept those kind of things anymore. We utilize all of our messaging systems to centralize the message. That's just my thought there.
So the reason I asked Ann to even look into this, and by you giving the nod just to go to that next level, it doesn't commit us to anything. And
Right.
we still have a tremendous amount of things we don't know. But I just think there's better ways, there's better things out there than just
Well,
putting stuff on Facebook.
There's a lot of ways, yeah.
Yep. I agree.
And I want to explore those things so that we're up, at least up in the 90s. I don't know. I think we're still in the 80s, but 90s, the 10s, the 20s. I don't know
Let's reach everybody.
where we need to
Yeah.
be. Yeah, but through this campaign, there's so many people that have no idea what's happening in the city. Just no idea. And I think that's a shame that people are living in the city that have no clue. So I think we need to look at all things, our website, definitely. I mean, we've paid a lot of money for that. I think we need to get the most out of that, for sure.
Yeah.
No question. Johnny, you had a question.
Just a thought on this too. So the content, whether we do email or text or social media, but prior to that is getting, are we waiting for the residents to sign up for the service to receive it?
Yeah, they would need
I think
to,
you have
we
opt
would
in on-
publish like a QR code and they would opt in to the app. That's right.
So even prior to that, if we wanted to, we could purchase a list that has everybody's contact information and start there and get that out to every resident in the city. And then they can opt out of that. Like we could go that even a step up from that, if that really give them an option. That's something we could do.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you explored that, Ann, or not.
Yeah, that's great. Good suggestion too.
No,
So-
but you purchase a list outside of the 500.
Yeah,
month,
it's an
and then-
independent, you buy everybody's contact information you want to. And
Yeah.
so the main company that does all that is a company called Zoom Info. So if you wanted to, so Ann, you may want to look into, if you want more information, we use it all the time.
But is Zoom Info for businesses?
It's for anything.
It's
Everybody.
Anybody?
It basically, it takes a snapshot of everybody's emails, and everybody's email has a signature at the bottom of it, right? With what you have in there, your email, your phone number, your position, your name.
Yeah.
And so it has it. You just have
So
to pay
it'd
for it.
almost be like you'd have to opt out. You'd send that, and
Yeah.
then if you don't want it,
You junk mail it,
you
spam
hit
it,
stop.
But
or stop.
And I've used Zoom Info in my job, but that's mainly business stuff.
You have the business, but there's
But
also,
Is there?
Yeah,
There's, okay.
Yeah.
Sean.
All right. Well, I guess, I feel like I've got an appetite from you that we should dig in a little bit deeper and look at it. And again, you don't have to vote yes or no for it, but I'll give you some more information so we can actually make a more educated decision. We can talk more about it at our planning meeting coming up.
And saying that, Ann, I kind of put over communication, but that's open to everybody. If you guys, everybody's in here business, you have business stuff. If there's things out there that bring it to the table. And I saw Ogden City, I have some rentals and things in Ogden City, and I'm on part of that, the website, my emails for that. And I got this thing, really, it was a neat thing from the mayor, Ogden Mayor Nadowski, telling about just some stuff. I thought, man, that is really a neat thing to just come and he just did a little blurb. That would be, something that I would have to do as mayor, but we can have Public Works, we can have the police department. I want to do the, Facebook Live or something like that. All these things are out there, all these possibilities, opportunities. I want to improve that, whatever we do. We could have planning on that, so do something. Yes, Tammy, we could. Anyway, go ahead, Johnny.
Another one is Constant Contact is another program that we use, sends out as much as we want to set it up. It grabs pieces, puts it all in one concise email and sends it out. It's an option.
Well,
Yeah.
we have many different departments, like Ann was saying, we have recreation, we have, the events, neighborhoods. I like that, if
Construction.
we have something, the road's closed.
Do
you know,
we,
Blue and White Boulevard's closed down there. We could put that out, just.
It's nice, and the SMS texting and stuff is nice to be able to get that alert. And you can, click here if you want to know more, or you could say stop, but it's something, because if you're not online and you're not looking at your email, you're not looking at your newsletter, if you're.
I also don't want to get texting,
No, but. people
getting
stop
tired
it.
of it where
They can stop it.
they get so much that it's just horrible.
do we have,
Anyway.
do we have access to voter rolls?
Voter rolls?
Voter information?
Yeah.
Can we use it for something like this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And to Dave's point, like you could even send, just a blurb of the information and then direct them to the website for more information. That'd train them to go there, so.
You can provide that in the link on the text.
Yeah.
Anything else, Ann?
Nope, that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I would like to see kind of an approval method for some of the things we send. Maybe there's different levels, but there's some things I think need more than just one person
Approval.
making that decision, whether that's.
Oh, I'm
the
really glad
staff.
you brought that up. I was gonna ask if it'd be okay with everyone if we put the Heritage Committee's Saturday thing on our Facebook page for Pleasant View. Good with everybody on that?
I think it's already there, isn't it? But yeah, put it there. I would think, we put it there.
Yeah, absolutely.
agree.
Dave, bring
agree,
that
Dave.
up in the work session. I think it'll be a great thing to discuss there.
Okay.
Sean?
So I know we received some emails from residents over the last week or two, and I'm just wondering how we're responding to those, or when we receive an email like that, these ones were about planning issues, wetlands and subdivision requirement, things like that. How are we responding to those?
When we receive a group email from a concerned resident.
Do you have any legal advice on that? As far as if they get a group email, if one person responds to a group email, it's kind of implying
Private.
consensus of the
Yeah.
body.
And I don't think that we should be responding. I would definitely leave that to staff. Because they're not to our level yet. We're not making decisions on them, but
And unfortunately, when they don't get answers that they want staff level, that's when they start emailing you.
okay.
But if we
And-
forward them to staff,
Yeah, but like Andrea said, sometimes they're not gonna like an answer from staff. So if they keep coming at you, you should just respond, please come to city council and address it during
Yeah.
public
especially
comment.
when they email the group.
Yes, but I agree, like it shouldn't be the council responding via email. And also keep in mind that's all subject to grandma and should
Yeah.
be retained, which I'm sure
And I
staff
think
is
that
already doing.
But, you can speak personally, but you're also, as you speak personally, you're speaking for the council as well. And you can't
Especially if
can't
they
say-
send it to all of us.
You can't separate that. I would selectively answer some of those things if I had a buy-in in it, or, give a personal opinion or something. I don't want to say anything specific, but.
Yeah,
Also, some of these people want to know they're being heard.
that,
You know, and I think
that's my
that's the-
concern right there. And
And I've sold a lot of people, I can't say anything, I can't comment on it, but just know that you're heard. And I think that means a lot to some people, that they just don't feel heard. So I've said that quite often to some of these things. But poop on the driveway or poop on the sidewalk, there's nothing I can do about that.
Sure. Well, and for these other issues, they're not our issue right now. And so I was not even planning on responding because I think that's a staff response. I just want to make sure, even if it's not the news they want to hear, hey, we acknowledge that we received your email. And
Can we do that? We've acknowledged that we received it. Please come to city council.
I assume that's happening. I just wanted to make sure.
The staff is responding?
Yes.
Well, they may or may not. I mean,
Well, because staff has already explained to them what the answer is. So we would just be repeating that same information. They would probably continue to email you.
Yeah, as long, okay, so as long as there is not an expectation that there is a new response coming, I think I'm.
I think there is an expectation. They want us to respond, but
Well,
they-
yeah,
they send it to everybody, and that's not a.
And so I guess
you're
my
not gonna give us-
question is, how have you handled that in the past? But just to make sure that if somebody is emailing all of us and nobody is responding, that's not a good situation either. So as long as they know that we received the email, the answer's still the same or whatever it is.
I don't,
Replied individually. I would never hit reply at all, because then it becomes definitely a forum, a conversation. So
I just-
individually, I've said,
I don't think that
Fuck
it
that.
comes up that often. There are a few things. Again, I would say, you're heard, but I would say if you have a question, send it to me and I can respond, or I can get staff to respond because I'll know kind of a little more about that.
Is everybody receiving these emails that I'm talking about?
yes.
And I believe the one that you're referring to, we were CC'd on, but
Yes.
in a lot of situations, we are not.
Okay,
CC'd
and
on that
in this
because
ca-
they
yeah.
are not happy with
In
our
this case,
response.
everybody was CC'd, so I was just assuming this is a staff
But
issue.
your number is as public record.
Correct.
And you have something there, so you do need to, I think, take calls. Don't just ignore them, but be very careful when speaking with a personal thought, because that will be a council thought. And you can't separate that very easily.
Yeah, exactly.
And so.
That's why I'm saying, I don't think any of us, I don't think
But
any
you
of us.
can't, but so I mean, I've met with a couple people as mayor. With, some property, they want to take over some property. And then there's a issue there, and I've spoken to them and I made very clear, I'm here gathering information. I'm in no way approving or denying anything.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting information from that source. They've been to the city before. And I'm just clarifying it mainly to bring me up to speed on the situation, but I just think, if you're heard, and some of those, we will know that there are problems. That's already been addressed by staff, referred to staff, but those, I mean, they're few and far, every once in a while you get, but they're few and far between. Hopefully you not get them every week. If you are, I mean, I would just ask that. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah, and even just if staff's not CC'd, I would forward to staff
Yeah.
because they've probably already heard of it and responded.
Anything else, Sean?
That's it. Thank you.
Sarah?
We had a great time at the local officials day. We had 20 kids go, and the mayor and Andrea and Representative Brian Wilcox gave us a great tour. And Cindy, sorry, and Cindy as well. And she drove the party bus with most of the kids in there. But it was a great educational experience.
It's a 15 passenger bus with.
It was fun. It was a party bus. So, yeah, it was a good experience for all the kids, and they learned a lot, and Brian did a good job taking us on the tour. So. Other than that,
Did you go into the new building?
we did. He
Wow.
took us into the new
Oh.
building. That picture of us in front of the flag is the new building. It's the first flag it was the last flag
The 45 star.
with the 45 stars before Oklahoma became the 46th state.
It was, they have a stained glass thing in there
Gorgeous.
that is absolutely amazing. I don't know how many pieces of 1,000, I don't know, I can't remember, it's a lot. But it is an amazing piece of artwork up there.
It's a beautiful building. So,
So your taxpayer money being blown at this Capitol. Anyway, Sarah and Cindy do a great job with the City Council. I was very proud of them. They're good bunch of kids.
they are good.
And I put them up against any of the groups that are down there.
Anyway.
Thanks,
so,
Sarah.
Yeah, there was some other, but you can go ahead.
Dave?
Just,
Sport beard?
yeah, I
I'd
had
give
to.
it a thumbs up.
Had to, lost my razor on the cruise, sorry, so. Just, Founder's Day meeting, kickoff meeting, we've got scheduled for the 4th. I don't know if you noticed at the bottom of that agenda, I did put, 175, PV 175 discussion. I'd really like to have brainstorm, particularly what we could do for Founder's Day that would improve 175, that we could celebrate, things we want to change, add, whatever for that. But then just maybe some things throughout the year too, just some ideas. Maybe we need to have a separate meeting on that later as well, but we're kind of behind a little bit on that right now. So wasn't V 175 and then the 250 for America 250. What do we have to have to, I guess I haven't dug into this enough, but to get the grant money for that, was that we had to have a committee? Okay, that would,
Voila, you get the money.
I think that's maybe what we, as part of this, if we could spend just a few minutes, come with your ideas. Ideas good at this point, and
Mayor Gibson talked to someone from the Brent Taylor Foundation about doing like America's potluck or something like that, which I think would be a good idea.
I have worked
Guinness
with,
Books World Records potluck, something like that.
yeah, I've mentioned it to, North Ogden, Harrisville, and kind of the Tri-City. What is it? Not Tri-City, but the Northview area. And they are all, doing it. I've talked to some of the LDS stakes about, having that be part of a 250, America 250 celebration. It wouldn't be a city involved thing, so I don't know how we do or, get something out of it. It'd be more of a neighborhood thing with potluck. But Jenny is, I guess it's started, I don't know exactly where it is. I called her to try to get some information, but she was at a basketball game today and she hasn't called me back, but it's spread, I think 34 states have adopted the thing to have a big celebration.
Johnny, we're in the process of doing something for the 250th as well.
So it's just, but it's an important thing. I would like to have a coin, two-sided coin, America 250 and Pleasant View 175. The coin, I don't know if we could use that money to help fund that, but I think if we sell it, through the year, this would be a commemorative coin. That's one of the ideas I would like to do. We did some for the Veterans Memorial. It was really neat. I don't know who designed that or how that
It
went.
Clark's Market, it was Doug Clark, and 200 coins will cost you about $1,000, which is good.
So, but we can sell them. We don't have to lose money, I don't think, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I just think that'd be a really fun thing because they're both happening. And it has that commemorative coin. It could be a keepsake for everybody, so.
So if we brainstorm a bunch of ideas, do you want to try and make a decision then, or we, just let everybody sit on it for a day or
I mean,
two
I
and
think,
come back to
I
it?
think that will be, the council will definitely be spending that money, so it comes to the council. I don't know, could we do that at the work session or you want to do it at our 4th meeting?
I think if you're gonna do a coin though, you need to get on it pretty soon because they have to make the mold, especially if you want it ready for Founder's Day.
All right. So let's have a few minutes at the Founder's Day meeting on the 4th to discuss that at the end.
Perfect.
So anyway,
That's all I have. Yeah.
Johnny.
I'm good. I
Cool.
just would mention one thing. There's quite a few bills that are going through process right now, House and Senate, that are related, that will have impact on our
Housing.
on our city. There's a lot of them.
Oh, gee.
And so just be aware. And it's not just the housing, it's water, infrastructure, energy,
Yeah.
structural things, zonings. We just have to, so we rely upon the League of City and Towns to do a lot of the
Yeah.
legwork for us. But we can have an influence too as a community, so.
Part of this legislative day, I attended a meeting with the league and we had mayors there and they talked a lot about that of, ones they're watching the flags that they're watching, they're not watching and they're supporting and non-supporting and it just seems like a nonsense thing to try to do it. Anyway, in lieu for time, we're way over, sorry. Matt, thank you for coming. I look forward to having our legal representation here. What are your thoughts on where we're gonna stick him?
Right next
I-
to Tam.
I would like to have, access to, because Tammy's not always here. But I'd like to have access to a microphone and,
Brody and I can both be very loud, so.
well, we need to have it for the,
Stetson probably can
uh,
attest.
for the recording.
Is there another,
Eh.
mic like that one?
And if we're back there and I need to say something, we could always step up or whatever. We can make it work. We're
But
fine.
Like you closer, like Mayor said,
Uh,
up here. so we
I
have
mean, we
a
can,
little
we can
easier
stick
to
him
see.
on that table. I would want to have a table of some sort, but,
This is an extra mic.
Right there behind.
7 seats up here.
okay.
Oh, yes, there are.
We'd have to move some of
Yeah,
your
very
stuff here. Would that be okay? Let's take that off. All right, you're right next to Johnny.
Okay,
Give you a little.
good. I can keep him in line.
Okay, I think that's all I have. Founder's Day and something else?
No, I'm just grateful. I
Okay,
have
let's
so
have a
many people
motion,
here.
have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
And thank you for sticking with us. I don't know where you are, but
Thanks,
have a
guys.
great day.
Yep. See you soon.